Funko just unveiled Wave 2 for the brand new Superman movie coming this summer. Now the crazy thing is we haven't even got the first ones in person yet, so to already have way more characters is pretty exciting. If you guys didn't know, for the first wave, we have a Superman flying as well as Lois Lane, and I've gotta say, that Superman flying is an amazing figure. It's interesting because of the base hanging on to the side of it, but it's in a regular, like, vertical box. So I'm wondering if it's gonna be like a little bit more of an angle like this rather than this. That would make sense. Because they've done sideways boxes before, and there actually is another sideways box in this collection, with there, of course, being Crypto. He is in one of those, you know, other way boxes. I'm also hoping that we do end up getting a flocked Crypto. I think that would be so amazing to add to the collection, because this one really does look good, but I mean, him just a little bit fuzzy. I mean, come on, it would really just elevate the character that much more. Oh, and of course, everybody, we knew about Lex Luthor. He was kind of like the only villain we had heard about for a little bit there anyways, and then more and more started to show up, or it's not even really like all villains, it's just like more characters that are going to be showing up. But before we get into those, we have to finish off the first wave that we knew about a little bit ago. So we have the Jumbo Superman, which is different. They actually put the base on the back for this, as well as the Pocket Pop size. So for Superman, we're actually getting like 3 different variants of him, all in, you know, varying sizes. Because, of course, the Pocket Pop's gonna be hanging, that has no base, so it's technically different. Now let's get into the new stuff, because we have a moment, which is, of course, Superman with the Fortress of Solitude. And now the way they did this one is a little bit different than I expected, because, I don't know, it's cool, but I kind of wish it was the entire fortress. They could have done it more like a pop town instead of a moment, but I do still really love the door on this one, and the way he's kind of like floating over to it. It kind of reminds me of, I guess, that 5-minute clip that we got before. Which movie was it? There was one a little while ago. Was it Sinners or Thunderbolts? Something like that. I can't remember which movie it was, but it wasn't that long ago. Anyways, there was a 5-minute clip that they were showing before movies. I believe it was also online too. You could watch it a bunch of different places, but it was cool to see kind of like a little bit of the world building that they were doing. And it wasn't much of it, of course, but it was a pretty good idea as to what the film is actually gonna, you know, like look like when it comes out. Something else that I'm noticing with this moment too is the way that they're doing the backdrop on this, and how it's got the Action Comics logo in the corner. So it's really, really comic focused with this one, or at least they're making them a little bit brighter like it would actually be in the comics. And I think it's so funny that that's part of the actual, like, I guess, like, packaging, so it means it really is comic heavy. Oh, and speaking of the Fortress of Solitude, this is kind of what I was thinking here, because they made a Biddy moment, or Biddy Town, that is going to be coming soon. And it's not, of course, the new Superman for 2025, but it is just like, you know, the classic looking version of him that comes along with it. And I think if they did the Fortress of Solitude like this, especially like when you see him inside, it's got some really nice detail, and I like how it's translucent so you can like see him through the actual like ice. I'm hoping that if people enjoy the first 2 waves and they sell well, Funko will make a Pop Town in the future, because I would love to see a full-size one, because of course the Biddy is amazing, don't get me wrong, but like a really big one, that'd be cool for the collection. And now, everyone, we're gonna start to get into the characters that I knew, as well as some of them that I didn't know that well. Like Buddy, well, it's Pop and Buddy because there's 2 characters inside. It is Metamorpho with Baby Joey. Now, with this one here, we did know a little bit about Baby Joey, and I don't know if he's in the trailer. I don't remember seeing him. Like, there was a newer trailer with like a giant kaiju recently, but I don't know, maybe I missed him, but he's just so weird, I feel like I wouldn't have missed it. Anyways, though, we get a bit of an idea here as to what these 2 are gonna look like, because he's got like a bunch of different stuff going on. His head is different from his left arm, which is different from his right arm, which is different from his legs, and then that Baby Joey, like this whole figure, I'm gonna be honest, just looks a little bit odd. I mean, I don't know, what do you guys think about this one? Because it's definitely a character I've never heard of before. Because like I said, I don't think this guy ever showed up in the trailer, so this might be like a new kind of like first look based on the toys. And of course we're not getting like a great view of what this character is actually going to look like, because it is a pop, so it's got like a big head, not so much detail in the face, like they don't even have mouths. So I would like to see the actual like concepts, or like what these are going to look like in the movie, because I'm pretty curious. Then, everybody, we have the Engineer, and this is another character I don't know that well. It's a Pop Plus though, probably because they're jumping, and that would make sense, I guess. So it's $15 13 instead of 12, if you're wondering what the difference is with a Pop Plus. It just means that it has like a little bit more detail, so they make it like slightly more expensive, which totally makes sense. And I think with this character here, I really am liking how that kind of border looks. On all the Plus ones, they give it this kind of like, I don't even know what to call it, like a bit of a shiny border all the way around. It adds a lot to the figure. It just makes it seem way more premium, and I think that's fun. That's why I like them. Now, this one here, we have Hammer of Boravia? See, again, it's another character I've never heard of before. But with this one here, the reason I really like it is because of the Chase variant, because this is just the regular one, the one that you'll find pretty much anytime they get this figure in. But there's a 1 in 6 chance of getting DC's Ultraman. And I've heard of Ultraman before, but this seems like a different suit than what I've seen in the past. Oh, but you know what? They put DC's Ultraman. I'm thinking of the anime, or, you know, the Japanese television show. The one, don't they do this or something like that? Isn't this Ultraman? Why am I blanking on that? But I know I have an Ultraman character in the collection somewhere. I just remember them doing something like this with their arms. Anyways, though, that is the Chase. And I think it'd be so cool to have both of these in the collection. And I'm wondering, because the Hammer of Boravia, or Boravia, whatever it is, seems to be some sort of suit. So maybe is like DC's Ultraman on the inside of it, and that'd be really cool if that's why they made it the Chase. Anyways, this is another interesting one that I'm definitely gonna have to try and get the Chase for, and I heard that these are gonna be releasing, if you didn't know, closer to the movie coming out. I think like sometime in early July, so fingers crossed we get them before it actually releases, because I'd love to do a big hunt trying to get like every single one of them. Okay, now this is a character that I definitely saw in the trailer, Guy Gardner, and I believe, Yes, I did see this one, because he's kind of like, and I don't know, is he like the Green Lantern character? I know that there's more than one, you know, like Lantern character. Anyways, this is really cool one though, and I like that they gave him the ring with like a little bit of light coming out of it. It reminds me of the trailer when he actually like flashes his hand like this and he like wipes a guy out. And people were saying that Green Lantern wouldn't hurt somebody unless like they're hurting him. So it must have been like he just like insulted him or something and he just like boom, right out of there. Because it seemed pretty controlled. He didn't hit everybody. It was just like a specific person he just kind of like swatted out of the way. And you can even see like his ring actually light up a second before he does it. So that was kind of interesting. And I like how they're showing him off and how grand his powers can be. Oh, right. Mr. Terrific. Now, he is somebody we've seen in the trailer. I didn't know this was his name. And so now that his name is Mr. Terrific, he kind of sounds like a good guy. And I have no clue anything about Mr. Terrific. Like, I feel like the only thing I've seen is that mask. Like, that's the main thing that I know. And I think I had seen him from, like, comics in the past, but I just never knew his name. Like, it would have been one of those things where you see an image of him and you're like, this is somebody in the Superman universe, but really I have no clue. Like, what's he holding in his hand? It doesn't really say either, because on the box it just says Mr. Terrific. So it's going to be fun to learn more about this guy. Yeah, seriously, I have no clue. Oh, and this is interesting. I just read the product details on this. It says, save the day alongside Pop Mr. Terrific when you give this hero a place in your Superman lineup. So, you know what? There might be like small spoilers or something in the descriptions. So now I want to go back to the Hammer of Boravia, which is the way I'm calling him now, and I want to see what it says in the description here. So it says, expand your DC collection by making this villain the next addition to your Superman lineup. There's a 1 in 6 chance you may find a chase of Pop DC's Ultraman. Okay, so it doesn't really say much about him, but it does tell me that he's a villain, and I feel like if you know the character, you probably would have known that. I just had no clue. And then, everybody, we have, yes, this one here. It is Superman Battle Damage. Now, this is an interesting one, because it's actually going to be an exclusive, which, I mean, I think it's just going to be on the Funko shop, so it's like you can buy everything all in one place. It's not a big deal. But what I do love about it is that it reminds me of the trailer. And the spot that I'm thinking of specifically is when he, like, blocks the dust coming from behind him, or maybe this is when he's, like, walking and he gets hit in the head with a can. I'm not exactly sure, but there's definitely a spot where he lands and then there's like a lot of wind blowing, and this is definitely what it reminds me of. And for the description, it just says, save the day alongside Pop Superman when you give this exclusive battle-worn hero a place to land in your Superman lineup. So it's probably just like a generic thing that's like for the entire movie. It's probably not like a specific moment, even though it does remind me of a couple spots. That's probably why they made it look, you know, kind of like this. There is also one other figure that I wanted to talk about, and it's in the limited edition category, and I don't know if they have it available on the website yet to like check out? No, they don't. Okay, I'm gonna have to go over their Instagram because they did post about it. Oh, and actually, before we get to it, if you guys want to see a lot of these characters out of the box, they did post like about 5 of them here. I was gonna say 6 because there is the Fortress of Solitude, but it's one big figure. So yeah, if you guys want to see it here, there's a bunch of them. And then we also have like some glam shots here, which look really great. But then at the very end, they show off what looks to be Hawk Girl. What's up with this one though is that it's limited to 5,000 pieces, and it's gonna be coming out on July 11th, so right before the movie comes out. And this looks like a really interesting figure, and I think it's kind of crazy that the only Hawk Girl they've announced so far is gonna be limited to 5K. It's gonna be done through their limited edition system, where if you don't have any points for the website yet, I definitely recommend trying to get some, which means all you have to do is make an account and then purchase some stuff. Because if you don't know, what they usually do is that you have to use points to get into the early time, but every single figure they put in the limited edition section so far has sold out in kind of like that pre-sale time. It's something to note, and you have enough time that if you want to just like purchase a figure here and there, you should have enough by the time the actual figure comes out in July. And so anyways, everybody, there we go. That is all of the new Superman pops coming soon. I am definitely excited about these, and it's cool because we kind of got to see some of the characters before they were actually in the trailers. Or at least a bit of a nicer close-up shot, even if they were in it for like a few seconds here and there. You know, it just makes it a bit easier if you can see like a standalone shot of a toy. And if you like Superman, I'm definitely going to be making more videos in the future because I am so excited about this movie. I'm going to be picking up more toys. We're of course going to be going to San Diego Comic-Con this summer, and I'm sure they're going to have some stuff there. And I'm going to be reviewing the movie 100% the day that it releases. So anyways though, I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow!